So we are starting this new sermon series called Most Certainly True. We're looking at the Apostles' Creed. And the Apostles' Creed is great. We say it almost every week. I don't know, about a year ago, we started bringing in the longer creed, the Nicene Creed, into it. So we're going through all these things. This is what Luther says about the Apostles' Creed. And let's see, oh man, I went right to the page. But actually, I have the quote right here. But on page 67, it says that the Creed teaches us to know thoroughly what God is like. And that's kind of what we're doing today, that we see what God is like, how God acts and all these things. And we see that in the Creed, that there are three articles in the Creed. You have the first one, which is God the Father, the Creator. Then you have the second one is God the Son, the Redeemer. And then you have the third one, which is God the Spirit, the Sanctifier. Right? And we'll be going through these. If you'd like to read with us or understand what's going on, you can go onto our website. There's like a little heading at the top of it that looks just like this. You can click that and see what we're talking about every week. Today we're talking about the Creator. Next week we're talking about the Sustainer, how God is He sustains the creation. And if you want to further read along with us, I invite you to grab one of these if you don't have one yet and kind of go through it. This is Luther's Large Catechism. That's what both of these are. Some of them are out in the back there. I think they cost us, I don't know, we'll say $20. They're like $12 on Amazon though. So I encourage you to go get that. If you want to pick one of these up here, if you can afford $20, just throw it in the offering plate or something like that, you know. If $20 means you got to make food choices this week, just take one. That's how we do things. That's how we do things around here. This book, Luther's Large Catechism, is one of the things that changed my faith. Like, it just did. Like, it was, so I'm trying to remember the first time I read it. When I kind of decided to become a pastor, being a Lutheran pastor that was not part of the original plan. Like, I was kind of fed up with the Lutheran church. I grew up in it, and I just like, type of thing. And then through some reading and all that stuff, I was like, oh, I guess I'll stay. And so here I am. But after that, I read this, and this, like, it changed my faith. I really encourage it. Now, I have the same book, but the newer version right here. This, I guess we call this the burgundy one. I call this the pink one. Get the pink one. The translation was done in the 70s. This translation is so much better than this. This one keeps all of Luther's fart jokes in it. Like this one, Luther writes with a fervor and a craziness, and you kind of understand why he was such a force during his time 500 years ago. This one translates it all out of it. I fall asleep reading this one. This one is like caffeine, all right? Now, that's being pretty extreme. You can get this one if you're a boring person. That's fine. And so that's I don't care. I'm not going to see what you're reading at home. If I see it, though, I'll be like not fun at parties. Like that's what I know. But these are great. And then we also have Luther's Small Catechism out there as well. These also I know cost us $20. And I have links on our website to both of these books if you want to buy them. But we give these out to all confirmation students, new members, all these things. This is kind of the book. Now, I hear what you're saying. You're like Pastor Cris. Why is Luther's Small Catechism bigger than the Large Catechism? You're like, why is that the case? Well, there's a simple explanation to it. This is kind of the book of confirmation, and we give these out, so it's kind of become a little keepsake and all that stuff. So we've added to it to bulk it out to justify the $20 cost that we do, because that right there is actually the Small Catechism. right. That right there. This back here is called the explanation. The explanation was written in 1911. Small Catechism was like 1500s. So like that's it. It came in, and also some of you have grown up in the church. You're like, this one is a lot bigger than my Small Catechism. I know. They keep getting bigger. So that leads me to this book right here. See this little thing? it's done from the same, our in-house publisher, which is called Concordia Publishing House. They call this a simple explanation of Christianity. Do you know what this is? This is the Small Catechism. Look at that. This is the Small Catechism. Why don't they call it the Small Catechism on the front of it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because this thing's $20, you know? So like, I don't have any conspiracy theories about it at all. Like that. No, I get it. This book's like a good keepsake. It's got nice binding and all those things. It looks great on a shelf, right? But if you want to use it, grab one of these. I think these things are like $5 for 20 or something like that. Like, so we have some of these out in the back too. But I encourage you to get some of those because the catechism is great. It was Luther wrote the Small Catechism as a way for parents to help raise up their kids in the faith. Like that was the whole point of it. And this is what he says about the creed. He does the first article of the creed, and then he has a description of it. And so I'm going to read the first article and then the description. The description is not going to be behind me, though. So, I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. What does this mean? I believe that God has made me and all creatures, that he has given me my body and soul, eyes, ears, and all my members, my reason and all my senses, and still takes care of them. He also gives me clothing and shoes, food and drink, house and home, wife and children, land and animals, and all I have. He richly and daily provides me with all I need to support this body and life. He defends me against all danger and guards and protects me from all evil. All this he does only out of fatherly divine goodness and mercy, without any merit or worthiness in me. For all this, it is my duty to thank, praise, serve, and obey him. This is most certainly true. And that's why we're calling it most certainly true. Because we see the first part is about how God created the heavens and the earth. So we're talking about him creating everything, and next week we'll talk about him sustaining the creation. And so God created all of us. And he created all of these things. I'm a creature of God. You're a creature of God. And all these things. And we go back and we can see that God has created all this. But there's an issue with that. Because it's important that we understand that we were created. How you believe you were created matters. Right? It matters. And I think that there's an issue inside of Christianity that I think there's almost two competing creation narratives. And I call these two ones that there are Genesis 1 Christians and that there are Genesis 3 Christians. And I know that there's two different types here because I used to be a Genesis 3 Christian. Like this is kind of how I came about and all these things. And the Genesis 3 Christian believes that I was created and my beginning is rooted in sin and despair. That by some miracle, God has come to save us. And that they believe that we are completely unworthy to be saved. Ever heard this before? Yeah, this is all over the place. Like you see it all over, right? And to be honest, there's some validity to their talking points in that. But hear me when I say this. That's not the beginning. That's Genesis 3. Genesis 1 is the beginning. And yes, our sin may have degraded ourselves, but that's not the beginning. That's not the beginning. Like God created the heavens and the earth. And as we listen to Kevin read all those different days, we read and we saw that it was good. But it's not just good, is it? No. We read and we saw that God created everything and he saw that it was good. Yeah. See, you guys get this. You get this. Like you are part of the creation and you are a created being of God. And at the beginning, God looked down at you and saw that you are good, right? Like that's where we are. And often we find ourselves in a mess, though. In a mess where you're like, oh my gosh, my sin has damaged these relationships. I yell at people. I do all these different things that have caused pain and hurt onto myself and onto others, right? And we often look for ways to get out of this mess. And so we look around, and if we believe that I started in the midst of this mess and this hurt and pain, we often believe that it's my job to try to get out of it. And I think we try to get out of it in two ways. One of the ways is we try to escape out of it. We try to escape the evil and the hurts and the pains. And we're just like, oh man, if I could just get out of this nasty body and creation that I am, then I can be holy, right? The other way is we try to transcend. But let's talk about escape first, because this escape mentality is hard baked into American Christianity. You ready to see it? Some of you are like, I don't know if it is. Have you ever heard this before? That the Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving earth? Yeah, right? This is all about escape. And it's basically saying that if I pass the test here, then I will be able to escape to glory. Oh, fly away, oh glory. Oh, fly away. Some of you are like, I want to sing, but he's making fun of it. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I'll escape away, right? And there's something that's deep inside of us that we want that. We're like, and that we believe. I remember I used to believe this wholeheartedly. That, man, if I could just be free of these earthly shackles, then I could fly away in glory and not have any problem. Like, if I could just escape out of it. That's not Christian. It's not. The other way we try to do this is we try to transcend above it. I think this is a great example over here. You guys know how I feel about ball sports. I talked a big game about being judgy, like with the ball sports stuff, during the confession. I judge you all on your addiction to ball sports and all that stuff. You really need to be. Jesus is in the NASCAR. Like that's what's like Formula One just below that, and then Indy, and then dirt track. Like this is how it goes. This is what Jesus is into, right? Like that's and so, but we try to. Like we see the mess that we are in by the sin and all those things. We see that and we try to elevate ourselves above it all. That if I can understand, if I can grab a hold, if I can understand some philosophy, art, apologetics, and be transcendent, then it's almost like we're raising ourselves up to be on God's plane. That we're raising ourselves up above everyone around us. And we teach this and practice it in that if I can just ascend and overcome my sin itself, then I will be saved. And how do we do that? Ooh, it's about believing the right things. The creed goes into the very face of this ideology. Because the truth is that idea of trying to escape out of the creation and become holy, and the idea of trying to become enlightened and try to become, transcend above it all, like is part of the oldest heresy that the church has been dealing with. And that's called Gnosticism. I talk about this all the time in Bible study, if you want to come to Bible study and do this, because the Apostle Paul, in a lot of his writings, he's writing against Gnosticism. John, the Gospel of John, a big part of what he's writing against is against Gnosticism, right? The reason why the creed was written was because of Gnosticism. And Gnosticism is the oldest church heresy that's over there. And the thing is that it's still all around us. We're all little Gnostics. And what it basically says is that the world of matter is evil and that only the spiritual realm is good. This is Gnostic art here. And you can see this guy, he's kind of peering through, making his way through the land of the real and kind of looking into the spiritual realm and kind of seeing all the real things, right? Like this is just Greco-Roman thoughts and ideologies coming into the church. But people back then, they believed that the physical wasn't good. It wasn't as good as the immaterial or the realm of ideas, and that you must achieve illumination or enlightenment through poetry, philosophy, or art. We see this today as the New Age thinking, if you've heard of that, kind of like Nirvana, not the band, but like the Nirvana, like Third Eye type of things. And you really see it inside of fundamentalist Christianity. I don't even know if they're putting the fun in fundamentalism, right? Like you see it there, that if we just need to fly away from our bodies. There's something deep inside of us that is trying to be free from the sin that we see ourselves around, and we're trying to overcome it, to free my body, to be a better person. And in that, it's almost like we're desiring to be like God. Genesis 3, when the serpent is tempting Eve with the fruit, he's like, did God really say that you would die if you eat that fruit? For we know that God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open. You'll be enlightened. See that? Your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Right there at the beginning, it shows us this desire to be kind of head over it all. Like, I understand what's going. And the creed centers us back into Genesis chapter 1. When we look at it, and we just read the whole thing, that we see that God creates the world. And how does he create it? God spoke light into existence. Let there be light. And he looked at it, and he saw that it was good. Yeah. And day 2, God separated the waters, the one from above, the one below, and called the one sky and the other one sea. He looked at it and he saw that it was good. Yeah, you guys are getting it. And day 3, God spoke, and he pulled dry ground out of the sea and caused all the palmetto bushes and the palm trees and all the things that are beautiful, right? Like up out of the ground and all the grasses and all that stuff. And he looked at it and he saw that it was good. And then day 4, he fills out day 1, and he creates all the sun, moon, stars, and all the things that have their being. And he looked at all of those things and he said that they were good, right? And then day 5, he fills out day 2, and he creates the birds of the air and the fish of the sea. And he looked at all of that and he said it was good, right? And then on day 6, he fills out day 3 and all the things that creep and move and have their being, and he created you. He created mankind in his image. And notice, ladies, it says male and female, he created them. He's not even leaving you out of this story. And back in a time when it was so patriarchal that everything went through the guy, he's mentioning the women specifically there and saying that you are part of God's image as well. That's huge back then. That's viewed that all of us are created in the image of God, that you are created like him, right? Like that you are created there. And he looks at all of you and says that you are good. See that? Sin is bad. It is. It diminishes us. But you are a creation of the Creator and are good and the bearer of his image. Like, this is what I wanted to show you today. That's who you are. And after God created everything, he took a break from it. He took a breather, right? He breathes. So often when we are trying to overcome how our sin and selfishness and all that stuff, we're like, I just got to work, I got to work. And we work ourselves to the bone trying to figure out how to either escape or transcend it. But God is giving us the pattern. He rests. We breathe. We rest in it. And God, have you ever noticed how he saved the world? He didn't come in just to rip us out of it. Some of you are going, yeah, he did. That's what we understand it to be. It doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. Like he doesn't get us to escape, and he doesn't want us to try to transcend it. Instead, what does God do in and of himself? In John, it says, in the beginning was the Word. That's Jesus. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And he was with God from the very beginning. And through him, all things were made. God's great rescue plan wasn't for him to come in, for Jesus to come into the world and transcend and escape above it and all those things. Instead, how he considered the creation so good that he came in to redeem it. That the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. That you're so good that you're worthy of redemption. That God becomes you. That God becomes us. This is what Christmas is all about, right? Like the incarnation is coming into the world, not in some high and lofty place, not in these huge, it's not like Jesus came in as a hologram, which is what the Gnostics believe. It's not that he came in as a hologram and he's like hovering around everyone and like just dispelling knowledge and all that stuff. No. He came as a humble baby, right? He came as a small thing. And you can see all this happening. We've had some deaths lately in the congregation. And it's amazing when you are there with loved ones and friends when they're going through that, somehow magically, you become the incarnation of Christ himself, even if you don't even say anything. In fact, it's probably best if you don't say anything. You know? Just sitting there in grief with someone else does so much good, right? Sitting with our neighbors when things have gone off the rails in their lives, you can see the incarnation of Jesus coming into the world because he sees his creation and it's good and it's worth redeeming. God came into the world to save us. And how he actually saved us was not pray this perfect prayer and you'll be saved. No, he saves us by coming in as the creation and dying the death on the cross that we all deserved. Like, we believe that Jesus was sinless. He didn't deserve to die. And yet he died for all of us. And on that first Easter morning, where his death on Good Friday became our death, his resurrection becomes our resurrection. God did not, in saving us, he didn't transcend or let his angels make it so that no feet of his hit the ground. He came into the creation and he died with us. And on that Easter, his resurrection became our resurrection. So, I want to talk to you about something before we're quite done here. In John's gospel, when Jesus, now remember what I said, John's gospel was to fight that Gnosticism, right? Which says that matter doesn't matter, that you want to try to get to the spiritual realm. In John's gospel, after Jesus rises from the dead, all the disciples are scared. They're scared. They're all huddled in a room together. And they're scared mainly because they're cowards, but we're not going to get into that right now. Like, they're all scared in there. And then Jesus suddenly appears in front of them, right? In his resurrected body. But his resurrected body has something weird. It's got scars. It's got scars. It's got wounds from the crucifixion on it. Why are there scars on Jesus' resurrected body? Why are the wounds of the crucifixion still on him? He did not transcend above the pain or escape the scars. And I think what that is saying is that the scars still matter. your pain, your hurts, your scars, your wounds, they still matter. They still matter. And God has not forgotten you or them. You were created by God good. Hold on, let's do that again. You were created good. So rest in the completeness of the creation that you are now in because of Christ's resurrection. 4, I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. This is most certainly true. And we'll end right there. Let's say a prayer. God, we thank you that you love us so much. Lord, help us to rest. That you have done everything for us. May we rest in you. And Lord, may we bring that rest to so many people around us. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. And